Here we have an example of a report you can make based on your test results, which you can send to your colleagues and use for documentation. We start with the title page with the name of the test and the date the test ran, followed by a summary slide. Some people might only want to see the summary slide. In that case, add the name of the experiment and only send this slide or upload it to Slack, for instance. Next is the reasons for the test and the hypothesis. The reasons are what you saw in your optimization research and previous experiments, so why you decided to test this. For this test, we found proof in our data research. We found that many visitors click back from the checkout to the cart and from the cart to the product pages. This could indicate they are missing information. Furthermore, customer service gets many questions about return policies, and in usability tests, we saw people seek this information. Also, the insights from science could indicate the return policy is important. After the reasons, you can state the hypothesis for the test. Next, you want to communicate the setup of the test. And on this page, you can show the screenshots of the control and variation, a short explanation of what has been tested, the KPI, and segmentation for this experiment. If you ran the experiment on mobile and desktop, show the images for both devices. Next, you want to communicate the results for each KPI. For this, do not copy data from Google Analytics or the Bayesian calculator. Instead, make it as easy as possible for people to understand. The title of the slide should give a summary of the data. So in this case, the variant has significantly more transactions. There was an uplift of 4.39%. Next, you can show the data for the different devices when applicable. After showing the results for each KPI, you can show some extra relevant insights. These can be based on additional segments, additional KPIs like the average order value, your funnel analysis, path exploration, interesting events, including the ones you added in the experiment, and heat maps and recordings. When you have a test winner, as we do in this test, also include the business case. In this case, we saw that when the variant is implemented, it will generate an extra revenue of over $600,000 in 6 months. This number helps the product owner decide how important this change is and how high it should be placed on a development backlog. Next, add the learnings and recommendations. This is of great importance because your test is useless without learnings and recommendations. In this case, the results confirm the test hypothesis and the behavioral hypothesis, but more tests are needed to validate the behavioral hypothesis. In your learnings, also look at related experiments on that page or regarding that behavioral hypothesis. Without a doubt, I would recommend implementing the changes in the variation to generate extra revenue and preferably do this as soon as possible. To get even more insights, a next step could be to create a poll, asking what information visitors are missing on the website. And of course, we came up with new test ideas. We want to keep testing with variations related to the behavioral hypothesis. Finally, you want to end the report with your name in case people have questions and for internal promotion. If you have a designer on your team, you can ask this person to design a nice looking template for your A/B test results. So your reports will look great. And this, again, is useful to promote conversion rate optimization in your organization. If you send the report by email, do not forget to include a management summary in the email. The email could look something like this. So you shortly state the setup of the test, the result, and the business case with the recommendation, which in this case is to implement the changes on the website. At the end of the email, refer to the attachment where the reader can find the full report, including visuals and data. So there we go. The report is done and the email is done. Now we can show everyone our awesome A/B test winner. Of course, higher management might not want to see every A/B test you run. You can send them quarterly summaries, for instance. But do share your results and learnings with all interested colleagues, so the organization benefits from your learnings and conversion rate optimization becomes more and more top of mind in your organization.